As I'm recording this, I am legitimately sick. Not just with a head cold like I had in May, but an actual fever. The highest I measured it at was 38.8 degrees Celsius, but I'm 100% sure it was much higher than that when it first set in. We just didn't have a thermometer here, so I couldn't measure it. But I was colder than I've ever been before in my entire adult life, so it was probably closer to 40 degrees at that point. Somewhat paradoxically though, I feel much better than I did in May, for example. I'm more tired, I'm fatigued, I haven't really trained, but I don't have a sore throat, I don't have a runny nose. It almost feels like I'm half drunk all the time, so I'm not really complaining. As for some happy news, my waist measurement was finally 80 centimeters, so I've achieved my official goal for this cut. But still, I'm gonna go further, there's no way I'm stopping with a sick week. Chest was also down by 1 centimeter, so the titties have all but disappeared by now. My average daily calories were 2,922 and my average weight was down by 0.4 kilos, so the total weight loss is now 13.3 kilos. I am now happy to report that my lowest weigh-in this week was 85.1 kilos, so almost 2 kilos less than my previous lowest weigh-in. It was definitely about time for this. The visual changes, even when just compared to a few weeks ago, are also starting to show. In a video a couple weeks ago where I previewed my training, I said that there would be a more comprehensive training update in a couple weeks, and by now it has been about a couple weeks since then. But at the end of last week, I got this incredible pain around my tailbone area on the other side, so I am self-diagnosing it with the help of Dr. Google as an SI joint problem. Basically, it didn't hurt at all if I didn't do anything, but if I sat in the wrong position or I made a sudden specific movement, I got an ache that lasted for about half a second to a second, where I would say the pain was at around 8 to 9 out of 10 on the pain scale. Basically, the worst fucking pain I've ever felt in my life, but very quick. Something like a terrible stomach cramp can be worse because it lasts for several minutes. A migraine is definitely worse because it can last for hours, but the pure scale of the pain was the highest I've ever felt. It started completely out of nowhere, and then within about 4 days it disappeared completely. If you remember back about a month or a month and a half ago, I had this same thing going on with my right wrist. I just suddenly got a terrible pain in it, I couldn't move it at all, I had to train one-sided with my upper body, and then within about 4 days it completely disappeared. I have no idea what is going on. With the wrist issue, I was able to train my lower body as well as my upper body one-sided, but with this SI joint issue I wasn't able to train at all because any sudden movement hurt like hell, so I had to be super careful with it. But now moving on to this week, where I'm doing this voiceover, I got sick just as soon as the SI joint issue went away. Perhaps all of this points to me going a little bit too hard on the physical activity side of things, especially considering my simultaneous calorie deficit. I'm really not someone to experience stuff like this, let alone multiple occurrences within a couple months apart. I was sick with a head cold in May, then I got the wrist issue, then I got the self-diagnosed SI joint issue, and now I'm actually sick with a fever. It is still very strange because all of these physical problems have had a very sudden onset with no warning and a very sudden disappearance. And other than that, I feel completely physically and psychologically fine. This has been by far the easiest cut I've ever done in my life so far. All in all, this latest sickness might be something of a blessing in disguise, or I'm just trying to cope with my current situation. But recently I've been wanting to extend this cut all the way to the end of September, because that's my favorite month of the year to go out for walks and be active, and I would like to leverage that activity to keep losing more fat. However, I do not think I would have had the energy or the motivation to keep cutting for that long, non-stop. But now that I got sick, I was forced to take a diet and training break, so after this is over, it'll already be mid-August or something, and I'm sure I'll be highly motivated and highly energized to keep losing weight. And I want to finish strong. So, I will probably keep cutting until the end of September now. Anyway, I will ramp my training back up as soon as I can with some modifications, which I've actually already made. It's very similar to the one that I have been doing for the last couple months, but I'm condensing it into just 2 workouts, an A workout and a B workout, only keeping the most important exercises, working out roughly every other day, except now, as I'm sick. This also nicely ties into my recent goal of trying to focus on the ass-to-gas high bar squat, the dumbbell bench press and the Romanian deadlift, as well as maybe 1-arm dumbbell rows and pull-ups. But that is all I had to say this week. I am a little bit uncertain on whether or not I might skip the next video, because there isn't really much to talk about as I'm sick, trying to recover, not really training or doing anything. But maybe if I get an idea and I get inspired, I will make a video anyway. Or maybe you will see me in a couple weeks as soon as I get better. Whether it's a week from now or 2 weeks from now, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.